This Chud's for you. Welcome to Happy Suffer.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect tagline.
And you and you and you.
This is episode 372. Happy Suffer. I'm one of the other Chuds that's not Bud.
Yeah, I'm
Red
blood.
mud.
Blood the
I'm gonna,
Chud.
I'm gonna be Mr. Chonkers, who is that exercise lady's cat.
Hell yeah.
Who is also a Chud.
Yep. Probably by the end of this movie. We're going to talk about 1989's Chud 2, Bud the Chud, a movie I am shocked it took us this long to cover.
Yeah, it sucks. But the theme song rocks.
This movie is so stupid. I fucking love it.
And someone just wanted to do a silly version of Day of the Dead and wound up with the Chud license, I guess.
So I was reading that apparently this movie, the script was originally written as a Return of the Living Dead sequel, which makes sense.
Makes 100% sense.
Katie, I'm gonna send you a picture.
A Chud.
I'm sending Katie because Katie's never seen the original Chud.
Excuse me, no Chud pics, please.
Well, you just got one.
Well, that's all. That's all the world is now.
I was like,
just
oh my
Chuds.
God,
I need
what
you.
the hell?
I was like, I need you to see what they look like in the first movie because it's baffling what happened.
Yeah,
in this.
Yeah, like it's just a guy now. Come on, I want this Green Goblin guy.
Also,
This is like the one time I wish we did face recording because I wish you could have seen my actual reaction to seeing that. I'm like gobbledygooked over here.
the first Chud rocks. It's super good.
It's fucking awesome.
It's John Goodman's first film role, I believe, or maybe first like anything TV or film role. He's got like this small role in it. It's very good. And then
Daniel
I-
Stern, King.
Oh yeah, I forgot Daniel Stern's in that. I haven't watched the first one in quite a while.
Well, as I said, I did not see the first one. I have not seen the first one. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I could tell immediately by watching this movie though that like the first movie was serious and then this one was just like a goofy time. Like I could just tell from the vibe. So literally never in a million years would have guessed that that's what they looked like. So I'm definitely at some point will watch the first one.
Yeah, I think like you would at least like appreciate it because like the creature stuff in it is incredible looking.
Yep.
It's a banger. So is this one.
They really gave up on the underground dweller portion of Chud.
100%.
In the second one.
I did not know until like literally 10 minutes ago that it was originally written as a Return of the Living Dead like script. And reading that, I was like, oh, it's just like all of the dominoes.
Everything falls into place. Yeah.
Because like I've seen
There it
this
is.
twice now, I think. And I remember the first time just being like, well, I don't know how
What
this
the fuck
relates,
is this?
but it kind of
Yeah.
rocks. It's real stupid and it's fun, so I'm in. But I don't know how this relates to
Bud
the original
the
movie.
Chud. Bud the Chud.
Yeah, we've talked about before. Any movie with its own theme song is a banger. It's just the rules.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I got to admit, Bud 2, Chud 2, Bud the Chud is a banger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legally.
Bud 2.
Legally
Chud,
speaking.
Chud.
Yeah. Bud 2.
Yeah. I don't know if this is correct, but Nathan said this was like one of your favorite movies. And I could like 100% see why that you would like this movie. Not like what's the opposite of derogatory? I mean it as a compliment.
Complimentary.
Yeah.
What did you think, Katie, like overall?
Are you pro
Oh,
Chud?
I am pro Chud actually. I literally could not have guessed like what to expect from it. Like I said, even I haven't even seen the first one. But I thought it like was this the best thing I've seen? No, but it was like certainly pretty fun.
That's not the answer I expected.
What?
When you said this is the best thing I've ever seen, I expect you to say yes.
Oh. But
this
it was like pretty fun.
This is Katie's top 4 on Letterboxd now.
Yeah, I obviously like there are some issues that I have with it just being a movie from the 80s. But I liked it. Hear me out though. As I'm watching this, so we were originally supposed to record this episode like 2 weeks ago or something. And so today I rewatched it just like in the background, and I had the same thought. Like I didn't reference my notes at all. I was like, let's just watch it and see if anything new comes up. I had the same thought because I apparently wrote it down. Hear me out. They remake this movie and they cast Robert Pattinson as Bud the Chud.
Yeah. I
think gold.
It is kind of like, I guess not really. Like I was thinking that like when oh fuck, I can't think of his name. Daniel Radcliffe was in Swiss Army Man. It's just the corpse.
Yeah. I think it works. But yeah, no, overall.
Thinking Robert Pattinson as Bud, and then you get like, who could be like you need like a straight man and like a Pauly Shore-ish type to play the two dudes that like kidnap him.
Harrison Ford, Stephen Baldwin.
No, it's Harrison
just
Ford,
like the oldest guys
and then
possible.
like Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
So it's like one real old dude and then like a teenager.
I'm here for that movie. I think that the hardest role for me to cast would be Colonel Masters, because he to me was like the funniest thing in this movie.
Keach.
Okay, I'm in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Roll.
Everyone, what if the whole movie is Stacy Keach?
Well, I still want Robert Pattinson, so it's like that Muppet thing, except for one person's Robert Pattinson.
What if it's Robert Pattinson, but we CGI Stacy Keach's face onto him?
Yeah, I was gonna say like a practical Stacy Keach mask.
He's
okay, all right.
It's like
Sure.
fucking Andy Serkis doing Gollum, but we just put like Stacy Keach there instead.
I think that could still. I'm willing to roll with it.
Oscars, get at us. You could just print up our awards now.
I like it literally though. I
and
like
a Peace
that
Prize.
I tried to write. Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely on the docket. I tried to write good music and then also music rocks. So, but for some reason I scribbled out music, so it just said good rocks. So there you go.
There are some good rocks in this movie.
Yeah.
Good rocks.
I was expecting you to say good music rocks.
I mean, that's also true. So, it all works.
So as you can tell, Katie's notes, very thorough. Good rocks, the end.
Good rocks. Good rocks. They could remake this with Robert Pattinson. The end. That's like pretty much all you need to know.
What else do you need to know about Chud 2?
I don't think there is anything. So goodbye. Okay. Let's go. I'm insane. We're literally half an hour from my bedtime.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever recorded this late ever, and so this is. It's gonna,
been awake for 15 hours or some shit now, so
yeah, it's gonna just be what it's gonna be.
And I haven't eaten since 1. So
oh yeah, I haven't eaten at all today. So.
We all might die recording this.
Yeah, this might be the last episode.
I'm mad as shit if Bud the Chud kills me.
I'm beginning to chud. Okay. So this movie starts with a doctor walking through a hospital, and he's going to quote unquote check on a patient downstairs. That's already kind of sus, right? He's walking through. The credits are rolling.
Who walks?
That's what I'm wanting to know.
Walking doctors. That's my fucking indie band. Walking doctors.
Get a wheelchair. You're in a hospital.
Right. That's right. I think that's kind of like.
Can you not afford Heelys?
Yeah,
fucking loser.
This is the 80s. This is the olden times. They didn't have those yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Skateboard.
Remake it, Heelys. Yeah, honestly.
That's the one thing this movie's missing. Skateboarding.
No skateboarding. Yeah. Okay, so this movie opens with a doctor skateboarding through the hospital, and he is going to check on a patient downstairs. But he's just like walking through. He's got a tray that has like a fucking huge syringe with some shady looking stuff in it, right?
It's poop.
And it's security guard. There's like a security guard for a guy that's just like laying on like a gurney or like a table or whatever. And the doctor's like, ready for your last meal. And at this point, I'm like, what? So it switches over to this government conference where they're talking about how they're going to call off the CHUD project. So it's C.H.U.D project. And one of the things that was really funny to me about this movie was that there's a lot of people saying things in the background kind of offhandedly, but they're all funny. So like they're basically like talking about how they're gonna call off this project, which is like a what's it called? Warfare. Molecular warfare type thing. And this guy in the background goes, "Oh well, I'm more of a nuke guy myself."
Yeah,
I was like,
same.
"Oh, fair." Yeah. I wrote LOL. I got a chuckle from that. So basically, it's like Colonel Masters, who is kind of like really, really gung ho about this Chud project. He thinks it's like the best thing since sliced bread, so to speak, and he's like really into it. And they're about to cancel it, right? So he's like kind of like pissed off about it. And we find out that the Chud enzyme would basically, it's like a super soldier situation where if the soldier died, the enzyme would allow the soldiers to get up and keep fighting after they died, aka like zombie soldiers, right? But they canceled the trials because of, just some cannibalism, which,
Yeah,
it happens.
What's a little like cannibalism for,
That's, that's what I'm
immortal
thinking.
cultures?
pretty sure that happens in every scientific study.
Oh,
Yeah, just like a
they're
little
out
bit.
there eating people right now. That's what
Yeah,
soldiers do, you know?
that's fair. Like, I don't really see the problem here, but
It's
they
the
seem
whole
to.
point of the Marine Corps.
So they're like having this conference about it. Obviously, Colonel Masters is pissed off. And then like while this is happening, Chud manages to escape, and they want to get him into a cryogenic chamber to like, make like cryogenically freeze him. Duh. Uh, they're gonna cancel the program, so he's just basically trying to like put him aside so that he can, I don't know, either come back to the project later or whatever. There's like some weird, they're like looking for Bud, the Chud, that's his name,
Hmm.
and there's like a jump scare. There's like a random cat in one of the hospital rooms, and I was like, what is that cat doing there?
Not sanitary.
No, kind of weird. They come upon Bud and they start blasting him with like Dr. Freeze guns, and somebody is yelling, "Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!" like constantly the entire
Blast
time.
him.
I was like, all right. And they basically freeze him and they're going to send him to the CDC office that is in a town called Winter Haven. So now it switches over. We meet our two of our three-ish main characters named Steve and Kevin. Kevin is the nerdy friend. Steve is kind of like the cool guy.
I really thought you said
Question mark.
Stephen Kevin, like that was one guy's name. Stephen
You know
Kevin.
what? Yeah, it is. Steve and Kevin. Um, and they're just in question mark grade because they look like they're nearing
They're in
40, but
42nd grade.
they seem to be in a high school that is not only dissecting frogs, but is going to dissect a real live cadaver. And I was like, that is concerning to
That's
me.
wild. What a school.
Yeah. So, basically, yeah, Steve is like the cool guy, but he's also like the class clown. He does this like experiment, and also their other friend is named Katie, who is like, so the three of them are like besties. Uh, Steve is like, I'm a cool guy doing an experiment, and somehow he like catches a frog on fire.
That is a cool
So
experiment.
it is pretty cool. They don't like when you catch schools on fire, though, I found out. So
Well,
just
that
chalk
was the
it up.
point of the experiment to see if they liked it or not.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a success.
Well, yeah. So their punishment, I guess, is that they have to like organize like a school storage situation. However, when they're in the storage area, the cadaver is just there.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like
where did you expect it to be? Not out in the open?
maybe
You got to store it somewhere.
weirdly, I thought maybe the
Yeah,
freezer.
let's put that shit in the
But
hallway.
he's just like chilling in a loading dock, like not being cold at all. I don't know.
Let it stink.
And so I don't know, they are just goofing around and they somehow accidentally send like the cadaver on the gurney flying down the road, like out of the loading dock. It flows, goes down the road. They're like chasing after, and of course, there's like this like insane 80s like jokester music. It's kind of like on the move music for like the cadaver rolling down the road, and like cars are swerving to like avoid it and stuff, and they lose it.
Every movie
So
should
there, I
have this scene in it.
yeah, I
Just,
mean,
just they're hanging out, and all of a sudden, a gurney with a body just goes flying down the highway, and they got to go stop it.
I
yeah.
mean, dudes rock,
Yep.
you know?
Okay, so they lose right, and so they're basically like, well, we're gonna get detention if they find out we lost this body. So their thought is that they're just gonna go sneak in to another place and get another cadaver to just like replace it with. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Easy
Okay,
peasy.
here we go. So they sneak into the CDC, which seems like probably the last place that you want to go, and also the last place you should be able to just like sneak into as a teenager, but I could be wrong. And oh yeah, I wrote they sneak into CDC to replace the body. Seems bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
so they
who could say?
well, we'll find out. They see Bud, the Chud, and they pick him because he looks quote unquote skanky, which I'm guessing is another one of those words that meant something different at the time.
They thought he was into ska,
Yeah.
which I agree based on how he looks.
He does look like
I agree.
he'd be way into like second wave ska.
He he loves skanking.
Gross. I'm gonna see what does. Okay, well, we'll see if go. Oh, it does say derogatory, but also a type of dancing.
Yeah, and I mean
Um,
I know in like
I'm saying
the
skanking.
80s and in like a little bit of the 90s, like it was like a term used for like gross or dirty, not like specifically like in like the sexist way or whatever, like towards like women, but like just in
I
just like
yeah,
a way
I
of
feel like I've only heard it used derogatory towards women. I had not heard of it like. Oh, it looks like it could have also meant a mean mercenary person.
oh
That would
weird.
make
I've never
sense.
heard that.
Oh, yeah. I haven't
Oh, I
either.
mean, I haven't either, but that's what the internet's telling me, which, as we know, is a lie.
Always
So who
correct.
actually? Um,
Military full of skanks.
yeah, there you go. That skanky military, you know how I always say. Anyways, they pick him, right? So they basically like sneak him back in like there Kevin is like, you can't bring him to my house and you can't get Katie like mixed up in this even though she like drives the body. So they're like, "Oh, let's just like put it at Steven's house." And I was like, "Why don't you just take him to the fucking school? Why does this dead body that you've stolen have to sit in somebody's house?" Anyways, they sneak it to Steven's house and they get it inside in the bathroom. His parents, are trying to talk about the Natural History Channel or Penguins or something. I have to say, I loved the parents in this because they like do not notice a single thing. They are not bothered. They're just like chilling with each other, having the best time, having breakfast, having a nice wine, watching like Natural History Museum together or whatever. And they're just like living life. And I actually found that refreshing.
They remind me a little
Um,
bit of the parents in Terror Vision, where they're just kind of like completely oblivious to like what's going on with their kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but this was like kind of like it was neglectful, but kind of in like a wholesome way. You know. Okay, so he's in the bathroom. They put him in the tub. They've got like ice in there or whatever. And Steven is like running the hair dryer because he's trying to not be overheard by his family as they're talking about like what they're going to do with this dead body. And then Steven's mom comes and like knocks on the door and she's like, "Hey, like I need to get in there. I wanted to take a bath before dinner or whatever." And Steven gets like spooked and drops the hair dryer into the tub, electrocuting Bud and waking him up. Everyone's screaming, obviously. And Steven is, after being initially scared because a corpse just woke up, they're stoked because that means like he's definitely going to get an A in biology now because like that's the most important thing here, you know?
Yeah.
So, I guess that like they're just excited to tell Katie about it. I don't know. They like lock Bud in the basement and then go out to have dinner with her at a diner. And I'm just kind of like, I feel like you should not just like leave him alone in the house. But, you know. Meanwhile, there's like basically this movie goes back and forth between like this group of kids and also the government people because there's like the Colonel Masters and then there's like a scientist guy also that's like with him for along the Rhine or whatever. And so the government basically has surveillance of Kevin and Steven, you know, breaking into the CDC and stealing the body. And they like basically talk about how it's not great because the C.H.U.D disease like kind of can't be stopped, and that's why it was canned. So
C.H.U.D disease is also what they call being a black metal fan.
It's true.
Really? Okay. So for some reason, so like while that's happening, Bud is basically just like doing shenanigans at Steven's house. Like again, the parents are just like sitting there having dinner, do not notice that this fucking and like Bud is very tall. He is like a tall man. He's like stumbling and clonking and like grunting around the place. He kind of looks like a Frankenstein's monster type guy because he's like tall, but and his like teeth are all messed up though. That's like part of like the C.H.U.D look.
Look, Chuds aren't allowed to go to the dentist. Also,
yeah, Chuds are just British guys.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Bud, ironically, apparently, was Stanley, the dad in Terror Vision.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. I actually didn't even really look up the...
I don't think I realized that.
Talk about range.
Yeah.
You know?
Andy's in Stewart Saves His Family. Like, what a career.
He was also in This Boy's Life, which is a banger. Okay. Anyways, he's a very tall guy. He's clomping around, stomping, chasing after the dog. The family has a poodle, and he ends up biting. The poodle's name is Jasper, of course. And he ends up like biting Jasper. I'm a little confused. Like, I guess that like they're basically saying that the problem is that they become cannibalistic. They wake up like really, really hungry and all they want to do is eat. And they're like obsessed with eating meat. But like they don't really like eat anybody in this movie. There's like no gore really. A lot of times when a lot of this movie, like the middle of it is the Chuds like turning other people into Chuds by like biting them, but a lot of it's like off camera. So I'm guessing they just are hinting at the fact that they're like just biting off a chunk of people. I'm not really sure because there's no like gore or anything. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the idea is they're zombies basically.
Yeah, so they're just like biting. So this is like totally safe to like show. I was gonna say like a child.
Yeah, but... show your kids Chud too.
Yeah. Fun for the whole family.
So I feel like there's not a lot of like quote unquote zombie, like the Chuds are essentially zombies, right? There's not really a lot of zombie stuff that does not have like blood and gore in it, so I feel like this is like
Yeah,
unique in that way.
they're all like hugely intact zombies.
Mm-hmm.
No one's missing limbs or anything.
No. They're just kind of like dirty looking.
Yeah, they're just kind of pale. They're just like pale guys.
And yeah. And they look like they have like ghoul makeup on. You know, ghoul. So
Yeah,
he ends
the
up biting
band.
Jasper the poodle. Right, yes. Exactly. And
Imagine.
this is the part of the movie that I'm just like not into, which is that he sees a picture of Kevin, Steven, and Katie, and he like falls in love with her for some reason and has become obsessed with her. And I'm like, why? It's the 80s, I get it. Jasper and okay, wait, kids. Oh, so that's like all happening while the kids are just like having a good time or whatever. For some reason, Katie's car has like a police scanner in it, and she overhears that the CDC knows that her car was seen at the seen at the scene of the crime. And she's like, oh, well, that's not great. Like, they're going to know it's the car's registered to me. Like, we're going to be in trouble. Steven's like, don't worry. Just tell your mom to drive the car. I was like, okay.
Smart.
Um, so now Jasper is a Chud and Bud the Chud are on the loose. We have this like scene of this like exercise lady who basically goes outside to feed me, Mr. Chonkers, her cat. And he like walks up to her because like he's starving, bro. And she's like, oh hey, and she like immediately starts hitting on him until he smiles and she sees how gross his teeth are, and then she does not like him and is scared.
I mean, to be fair,
but
he does look very hot until he smiles.
She obviously is scared, but he bites her and turns her into a Chud. Basically, like again, so there's like this guy that he attacks and like steals the guy's suit because before he was wearing like I don't know fatigues maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
And steals his suit and then he starts like strutting down the street, and this is the first time we hear the Bud the Chud theme song, which is like Bud the Chud, Bud the Chud. And then it's just like the theme song about Bud the Chud, which like as we've said, we love. I don't like the part in the song where it says that he's going to come into my room at night. Like I'm not into that, but
I mean, he's got to go somewhere.
There's lots of rooms. It does not have to be mine.
There's lots of rooms.
It's a fact.
That's true.
Yeah,
even in just the one house.
That's true. There's many rooms in this house. He can stay in the room where we keep the cat litter. How's that?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, I wrote parents don't notice anything. Essentially, like Jasper is attacking a mailman outside, and like all kinds of shit's happening, and he just like doesn't notice. So the kids are like, they were out. They did come back to the house, and like Bud was gone, so they were like looking for him or whatever. They come back. The government comes to Steven's house, and it's basically just like, hey, we're looking for your son, Steven. And she's like, oh, I think he probably went to school, even though she just saw them, and they like made up some excuse as to why they're not at school. And Colonel Masters says, yeah, tell him he's dead meat to Steven's mom, which I thought was so funny.
It's like, will do.
She's like, okay, great. Bud gets a haircut. Just classic shenanigans.
He's got to get himself like nice and hot. Get those teeth fixed.
That's right. He's trying to look good for Katie.
Mm-hmm. Well, he should just get more teeth.
Student. Right. He should have just stolen more teeth and just put them in the gaps and then
jam them in there.
If you smile slightly, nobody would notice.
Everyone knows the more teeth you have, the better you look.
Yeah.
That is true.
Why do you think sharks are the hottest animals?
Yeah. Rows and rows of teeth.
Okay, so the kids have been, running from the government at this point, can't find Bud, and they're like, dang, we're really in big trouble. Like, we'll probably be arrested or something. Anyways, are you guys going to the Halloween dance? And her actually just like so unbothered by the situation. And so like there's also this whole thing where Kevin, who as I said is like the nerdy one of the trio, is like obviously in love with Katie, has been in love with her for a long time, and is like, oh yeah, like, oh, do you have anyone to escort you to the dance? And she's just like, okay, weirdo, like I thought we would just all go together. Like she just totally thinks they're all friends, you know? Um, Meanwhile, there's like basically the kids are walking around looking for Bud and just like don't notice that everybody in the town around them is being turned into Chuds.
That's my favorite aspect of the movie is just like how many of these like zombie things are just in the background doing shit.
Yeah. I like it. I thought this part was fun because they're just like fucking stupid. They've literally like unleashed a zombie plague on the town and they just like cannot even notice. Um the government is now also, looking for them and looking for Bud, and I wrote the general is just saying outlandish shit. I think this is the scene where the kids are, they're like Colonel Masters is like talking to the scientist guy, and he's just like, oh man, back in my day, if I stole a body from the CDC, my dad would have taken me out to the woodshed. And the scientist is like, I don't think they have woodsheds anymore. And he's just like, oh, well, back in my day, if I skipped school, my dad, like basically all of his stories go back to like how his dad used to just like beat the shit out of him, and kids these days just like don't get disciplined or whatever. It's just like the dumbest, funniest like conversation that they have this entire time. Um, so this scene, the kids are hungry, so they pull into like a burger stop, to get burger stop, a burger joint, stop to get burgers. The entire like burger stand has been turned into Chuds and stuff, and they like leave because they're basically like, oh man, we're never gonna find him. And Kevin like looks over, and Bud is just like sitting in the back of this pickup, and he goes, oh, there he is, and they just like follow the truck. The government shows up afterwards and like can see that like all of the burger shop has been like turned into Chuds, and they're like, oh man, that's crazy. And this one, like, Colonel Masters like admits that like the disease is really really contagious, and that's why it was like illegal that they were like doing the experiments and stuff. And the scientist is like, excuse me, illegal, like what are you talking about? So the basically like he just was like helping them and like didn't actually know what was going on this entire time. And so yeah, it's extremely contagious, as we can see. And so Colonel Masters finally calls for backup. They basically like blow up the fucking burger shop with like rockets and shit. And then he's just like, it's probably fine, and they leave, but like all of the Chuds are still alive. So that's great.
They did a pretty bad job
Not
of
very
blowing that place
effective.
up.
They did a good job of blowing the burger joint up. Yes, they did. And they're just like, well, it's probably fine. So the kids follow Bud back to this like random barn and are confronted. I love like they see him, and he of course, they keep playing this like cutesy like, oh my god, like music whenever Bud like sees Katie. She has like not picked up on it and at this point, I think. But he's like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh my god, what's going on? And this farmer comes in and he goes, what in the wild world of sports is going on in here? And it made me laugh really hard.
That checks out.
And he's like, get tiny and get out of here or something like that. But then there's just like a bunch of Chuds that are like, there's like this like fight scene between them and Bud where they're like hitting him in the nuts and stabbing him with fork rakes and stuff, but like nothing's working right. And let's see.
That's how you know a movie's
There's
good,
like
is if there's a zombie getting hit in the nuts.
That's true.
Yeah.
That did actually seem to affect him. He did not seem to enjoy that very much.
It's good to know that zombies can feel pain.
Yeah. That is comforting to me, actually. There's like all these other Chuds that show up and like turn the farmer, and they're all like, whatever. And that's when like the whole government shows up, and the kids try and like hide or whatever. But that's when they start to realize like, oh my God, it's like the CDC. We probably like unleashed a plague or something. And I'm like, yeah,
Whoops.
maybe that's why you don't break into the
Yeah.
CDC.
The Center for what control?
Hmm. The diaper control. Oh, I can see. Um, so the government's there and they're arrested. They basically use their like Mr. Freeze guns to like freeze a different Chud. Bud has escaped. And basically what's happening is that they've frozen him, but he is raising his body temperature up so high that it's melting the ice. And the General Masters is like fucking stoked because he's like, oh my God, this is so great. And the scientist guy is like, why? They're like immune to everything. And he's like, yeah, they're adapting. Like, this is really great. This is really exciting. Just like doesn't realize how this is not a good thing, which is accurate, I feel, for like the government character. And yeah, so he's stoked. Bud has escaped, as I said, and he meets up with like these other Chuds. Um, and then the Chud theme song plays again, and they're just like a group of Chuds just like chudding it up, just like having a good time, scaring trick-or-treaters and whatnot. Because this movie takes place on Halloween, by the way.
Yep, this is a Halloween movie.
Canon. Now there's like randomly, again, like it just keeps like switching over to like different people being attacked. There's like this like drunk coroner who was like doing an autopsy on the mailman that Jasper attacked, and then he gets attacked. And anyways, it all leads back to like the government has arrested the kids and bring them back to the CDC building. Outside the CDC building, Jasper has like lured this guard away and like attacked the guard or whatever. And meanwhile, the Chud group is just like stumbling around amongst the trick-or-treaters, like kind of confused. They also don't seem to attack children, which is interesting, just animals and adults. This is another scene that made me laugh because it's another one of these like off camera of like these kids trick-or-treating, and one of them's like, I got an apple, and this other boy goes, I got a rock. I don't know why, but it made me laugh so hard. Yeah, good rocks. There you go. There's the good rocks. Chud ends up seeing a poster for the Halloween dance, and he's like, oh, sick. We're gonna feast. And the guys are like, yeah. So they're gonna go to the dance and, eat the kids at the dance.
Hell yeah.
Basically, back at the CDC, they're like having a conversation about how they don't know how they're going to defeat the Chuds at this point. Like they're indestructible. Again, the general is so stoked upon this information. And basically they're like, okay, well, we first need to figure out like where the Chuds are going to be. It's going to be like a really big get together, like a football game or a parade or something like that. And then the kids are just like, yeah, there's a Halloween dance at the school. And they're like, yeah, perfect.
That's where
like,
all the Chuds would clearly go.
Yeah. I mean, they
love to dance.
Yeah.
They got a song.
They know how to read a poster.
The
band
only thing is going to play the Bud the Chud theme song, so...
Yeah.
They gotta go there.
3 hours straight.
A choreographed dance. We also see Colonel Masters get into a car where the driver is the guy who just got bit by Jasper. So the driver is a Chud, and Colonel Masters is like leaving by himself or whatever. Oh yeah, so Kevin remembers the dance, and the scientist is like, oh no. Because like there's Chuds attacking the facility now, and I don't really know how they got there because like I thought they were on the way to the dance, but I guess it's on the way. And the kids end up escaping because the scientist basically ends up sacrificing himself so they can get away by like setting off a bomb, I think.
Yeah, something.
I thought at the time I wrote I think. I am not any clearer having watched it today. I wrote Jasper leads the charge to the dance. They love it. They love the the dance, I guess. The Chuds are in there cutting a rug and whatnot. The kids get to the school, and basically there's like this fight scene that occurs with the biography professor, and they end up accidentally figuring out how to stop or defeat the Chuds, which is that first they freeze them and then they electrocute them and then they explode. Easy peasy.
Yeah. Couldn't be easier.
Because then Kevin says a bunch of science stuff, apparently, and is like, we just need to figure out like a big piece of water to get them into so we can freeze them. And they're like, oh, of course, we're going to put them in the pool. So Katie gets in her bathing suit and is the bait for Bud the Chud. I also forgot there's a thing they say, eat them up. No, that's Reese's Puff.
It could be both.
You know, they're like, eat them up, eat them up, whatever.
Yeah,
it's something
whatever.
like that. So basically, Bud sees her and starts like chasing her. A bunch of the kids at the dance at this point have been turned too. There's like this whole scene where like the Chuds are dancing with some of the kids like very aggressively, but everyone seems to just think that they're very good at dancing.
Mm-hmm. Chuds are pretty good dancers.
Yeah. And so basically she lures them to the pool and she jumps in. All of the Chuds come through the pool and just like fall into it. They don't know how to stop. It's like a avalanche of Chuds.
Yeah, they're like lemmings.
Exactly. The scene kind of goes on a little bit longer. There is kind of like a build up to it, but essentially she ends up getting out the other side of the pool and like Steven was supposed to have like opened these CO2 canisters on the other side, but like didn't do them. And so now all of the Chuds are like in the pool, but they can't freeze them yet. So they're like trying to get out of the pool and they're like kicking them back into the pool while Kevin opens the CO2 canisters. But all that to say is they're really, really bad. They like literally didn't do any planning. They thought of the plan and then before setting up the plan, they just decided to do it, which was really dumb because they weren't prepared. So he finally gets the CO2 open and is freezing everybody. But while this is happening, Steven is trying to keep all the Chuds in the pool and he ends up getting bitten in the process of it. There's lots of fog. And the Chuds are all frozen in the pool. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. Because again, like, there's nothing crazy happening in this movie, but like, obviously it is all practical effects. So there's like Chud people frozen, and I thought it looked pretty cool. So because they've adapted, they start like upping their body temperature and they start like melting and they're like, oh my god, hurry, introduce electricity to them. And Steven's just like, how? Like they again didn't think anything through. So they realize that for some reason there's like all of these like really huge electrical cables going into like a clock on the wall for some reason. So they're trying to like yank the cord off of the wall and stretch it into the pool to electrocute them.
Clocks do take a lot of electricity, so
apparently, especially at schools, they really need to, know what time it is. That's obvious. Bud starts climbing out, and of course he's going after Katie. She's screaming and shit. Let's see, they cut the wires. Yeah, Katie climbs up the high dive board to like try and get away from Bud because she doesn't know whatever. So she gets to the top and he's there basically being like, they don't really talk, even though the song says they're walking, talking, Bud the Chud. he kind of can say, he can just say words. So he can say like meat, they say meat a lot. And so he's basically trying to like mime to her, like, will you accept me? Like, I love you, like, whatever. And she's basically like, ew, no, gross.
Rude.
And he's like, please. Which was like kind of sad, but also I don't like this plot of him being like obsessed with this like girl. I find it weird. I find it skeevy.
Chuds need love too.
But he looks like he is like, progressed in life as far as age goes, and I just feel I just feel like I'm not comfortable with it. Anyways, and he's like, please, and she's like, no, and she's like screaming and stuff, and then I don't know what she thought he was gonna do, but he does kind of like fuss with his clothes and like his belt and stuff. So I think she was, I don't know, but he ends up like putting his hand into his chest and like ripping out his heart to give to her. And I was like, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, he's a
Maybe I forgive
romantic.
you. Yeah. And while that's happening, Kevin ends up blasting him again with the CO2, and he basically like falls into the frozen pool of chuds that's getting like electrocuted. I think he shatters upon hitting it.
I know a bunch of
Um,
them do. I can't remember if he does or not.
yeah. But basically like all the chuds are like exploding and there's like chunky pieces or whatever. And at the end, he is just ahead. And I said, he's just like, hi. But they do away with
It's
him,
also good rocks.
unfortunately. Yeah, very good rocks. And like I don't know, like I didn't like I said I didn't like this like subplot of him being obsessed with her, but I also kind of felt bad for him because like, it was like a government experiment and he's just trying to like live a chud life and he just seemed like they made me like the chud. He
Yeah,
just was
he's
like
very likable.
he was just a pal and he didn't deserve what happened to him.
Yep.
So, yeah, okay. Finally the backup that the government has called in arrives, and they're all like running around and like whatever. They're useless, of course. The next morning, Katie gets into the car with Kevin, like, picks Kevin up for school or whatever. And I did notice that Kevin is like, "Oh, yeah, I'm the cool guy now because I don't have glasses anymore."
Yeah.
He like took off
Now
his
he's the
nerd
hot guy.
glasses. That's right. And basically gives her a letter that Steven wrote that is essentially just like, because there's also this like weird subplot that we only get because of the parents like having their little dinner chitter chatter, which is that like Steven's dad owned a construction company and he thought that Steven would like take over the company, but the mom's like, I just like don't know if he wants to do that. He's on academic probation, and there's like all of the subcontext about him kind of being like a mess up, can't get his life together kind of thing. And so Steven like leaves this note that's essentially just like, I feel like I probably need to change, so I'm gonna go see the world. By the way, you guys should totally date. And so Katie's just like, okay, great. Um, so then it cuts to Steven like hitchhiking with Jasper, the Chud dog. And thank God Jasper did not jump into that pool, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He lives to see another day. And he's hitchhiking. He like gets in this pickup with this woman who was like wearing a pilot's hat or like a boat captain hat or something weird. And she's like, oh, how about we stop somewhere for a bite to eat? And he's like, great. And he's like very obviously turned into a chud because his teeth are weird and he's got like really dark circles under his eyes, but he doesn't look as like fucked up as the other chuds did. Like he still looks basically normal. And
Yeah,
then
he's like a guy who's kind of ill and hasn't slept in a while.
right. And then Jasper gets in the back of the pickup and he uncovers General Colonel Masters back there. And he's like, hush, hush, I'm undercover. And his teeth are also fucked up. And then they just like ride into the sunset and they're both chuds, but like maybe not cannibal chuds. I'm not really sure.
Well,
But that's
The
the
dream.
end.
you're gonna find out in 3.
Is there a three?
There's about to be. When we make it.
Oh shit. Oh, duh,
Yeah.
yeah. Sure.
Katie's Jasper.
I'll be Jasper. I like to think that Mr. Chonkers escaped because I don't think we saw him.
Yeah, Mr.
So.
Chonkers definitely.
Mr. Chonkers lives on.
That's a banger.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the
very fun.
movie everybody should be watching on Halloween.
Yeah.
It is fair. It is a Halloween movie. There's costumes. A kid gets a rock, and now maybe I'm thinking like, should I be giving rocks
Yes.
for trick or
Yeah.
treat?
That's what I hand
I
out.
Good
do have
rocks.
a lot. I should be like, so I did buy chips this year, But I did get a little bit of candy. I don't know how many kids we're gonna get. But I do have a lot of crystals too. So I could be like, would you
Oh, there
like
you go.
candy? Would you like a bag of
An
chips? Or would you
amethyst.
like, yeah, I've got plenty of them.
I just
Maybe I will.
buy a pallet of bricks, hand them out.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Potatoes, also a good idea. An
Oh, if
avocado.
somebody gave me a potato, I
Thanks.
would be so stoked. Because I'd be like, I'm going home and having a baked potato for dinner.
I mean, options. I saw some lady giving out ramen also, which I think is a good
Ooh, that's
idea.
also
Hell
solid.
yeah.
So,
Time for kids to learn.
although,
It's all you can afford in the future. Good luck.
I mean, the price of candy is insane. It's definitely cheaper to get.
Yeah.
Uh, you can get like a whole flat of ramen for like $6 at Costco. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I think maybe this episode comes out after
Yeah,
Halloween,
it
but
does.
if you're missing
But guess
Halloween,
what?
here is some more Halloween
You're
spirit.
getting at least
If
one
you're a
more
time
Halloween movie
traveler,
after this, so.
You know what? Keep the season going as long as possible. That's what I
yeah.
always say.
Bud's the reason for the season.
Yep.
That's true.
Could just, just pretend instead of
Oh,
Halloween it says Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
uh,
Be thankful
thank-
for Bud.
Thanksgiving the Chud.
Yep. All right. Kit, what have you watched since the last time you recorded?
Fucking
12
three
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I'll try and do these off the top of my head. I saw Roof Man, which was fine.
What the fuck is Roof Man?
Like,
That was the movie I got tricked into seeing at Mystery
Oh,
Night
that's
with
right.
fucking Channing
oh.
Tatum.
Yeah, it was fine. Uh, let's see. I watched Cure, from 1997, the Kurosawa movie, and it fucking slaps. It's super good. Bring Her Back also slaps.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, so
Katie
Really
good.
just watched that.
fucked up.
Woof.
I watched Mind Ripper, which I didn't even know existed. It's Wes Craven Presents,
Oh,
starring Lance
yeah.
Henriksen.
I watched that, I think.
Yeah, it's it's not good,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Uh, what else did I watch? Werewolves, the Frank Grillo movie where everyone turns into a werewolf whenever the full moon comes out. It's like The Purge.
Everyone turns
Uh,
into a single werewolf.
Yeah,
yeah,
like a
one big
Voltron.
werewolf.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
God, that would be sick. Uh, yeah, I think that's mostly it. Other than that, I just rewatched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies this weekend.
I did that last week.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's what I was on the season of with Gorley and Russ where they were doing Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'd like rewatched all those or maybe it was like first week of the month, something like that. And that remake still bad.
Oh, one other one. Extra 2 Second Encounter. Slaps.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen two. I think I've only seen three.
I'd only seen 1 and 3, so I saw 2 and was like, oh
I
yeah,
don't think I've ever
it makes
even
sense they made a second
I don't
one.
think I've ever even seen one, so
Oh, 1 fucking
I've
rules.
only seen three, I'm pretty
One's
sure.
awesome.
Katie, what'd you watch this week?
Um,
Extra 3.
yeah, also, I already talked about Bring Her Back and Talk to Me. I talked about The Substance. I watched Wolfman. I talked about that. I watched R.L. Stein's Pumpkinhead. No. Oh, you know what? I think the only new thing that I watched is that I watched Weapons.
Hell yeah.
Wow. I am still kind of digesting that one. I watched it yesterday night, so I'm still kind of like thinking about it. Weirdly, though, that like the main character lady is also in Wolfman, so I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting to see her so soon. Overall, favorable for Weapons. I think I'm gonna say my issue with it is that the pacing was like kind of off to me, but overall, very good. The last half of it is like extremely hard. I felt complimentary.
Final, like, 5 minutes. Rocks. So hard.
Yeah, couldn't have predicted where the movie was going, to be fair,
Yeah.
at all.
A
And
plus.
some Benedict Wong is in it, and he's like amazing.
King.
I
Always.
literally actually like no spoilers, but I literally like cried during his scene, which is like not normal for me. The only thing I'm gonna say is like boo Josh Brolin, but other than that, very good. I liked it.
E- everyone this Halloween should just do the weapons run, house to house.
Which is like
Weapons run to get candy.
yeah, which is essentially the Naruto run, which normally is very funny, but in this movie, not very funny at all. And coincidentally, so we did that R.L. Stein's Pumpkinhead movie, um, and there's like a really freaky scarecrow situation, and that scarecrow runs like that. And I was like, why are we making this scary? Like, I can't, I'm like not into it. I watched half of VHS Halloween. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I would hope so if you watched half of it.
Well, no, I didn't know if Halloween was like the correct
Oh.
terminology because I didn't realize how many VHSs there are at this point, and I have never been able to watch one all the way through. But the first skit in that, I was like, what in the motherfuck is happening here? And then I watched almost all of that J-horror virus documentary, and I really like it. If you're into that J horror, like wanting to know, it's like kind of it's very informational, right? So it's like not nothing flashy, just like very like prominent people in the field telling you like this is where it's from, this is blah 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 blah. So it's like I wouldn't say it's a fun watch, but it is very informative.
It's
So like
it's
in my opinion, worth
really
it.
weird because I watched that too, and I feel like I've watched a couple documentaries lately that were like, it's just like people in a room talking with like very minimal footage of shit. Like that's how that George Romero's Resident Evil documentary
Yeah,
is. And I guess granted, like that's a thing where like it was about an unmade movie, but like I feel I've
sure.
just watched a couple documentaries lately where I'm like, oh, there's just like talking heads and like very minimal footage of stuff, and I was like, this is strange. Why is there so many of these now?
Yeah, because I will also say, like, I feel like they showed a pretty good amount of footage in the J-horror one, but it was like very fast clips, and a lot of times I felt like what they were showing was like not
Was barely
super
like
indicative.
tangentially telling of what they were talking about.
Yeah, it was like not really indicative of what they were saying. It was just like here's a scene from this, here's a scene from that, except for there's like a scene where they're talking, and I will also say there are American speaking people in the movie, but also Japanese only, so you can't throw it on in the background. You have to be
Yeah,
watching, to read the subtitles or whatever. Um, but like there's like a scene where they're talking about like the major three ghost stories from folklore in Japan or whatever. And they're showing clips of movies based on that. But other than that specific scene, I felt like it was just like random like scenes from movies, but there were some on there that like I hadn't heard of. So at least that like maybe I will be able to like get some new watches out of it. But like I thought it was informative. It just wasn't anything it wasn't flashy or fun in any way.
yeah, I thought it was
So
fine.
yeah.
I think outside of that, the only thing I watched is Who Killed Teddy Bear from 1965, which
Did you
was
find out?
uh, yeah, kind of no.
Oh, okay.
It's like a movie about like a this dude that's like stalking this pseudo popular like DJ, but like by DJ I mean he just plays records at like a dance club. But it's like
Great.
Sal Mineo plays like the stalker, and he's kind of incredible in it. And so I mean, that was pretty good. And then Caitlin's nephew stayed over, and we showed him The Thing, and
Amazing.
guess what? The
Hell
Thing
yeah.
still pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Still the greatest thing to ever be put on a
It
screen,
literally,
anyway.
yeah,
Turns out holds up.
even he like that was like maybe like one of the first three horror movies he's seen now, And like,
strong open.
like clearly he did not fully grasp the the terror in this is like
How incredible it is.
like the paranoia and shit like that, but he was just like, wow,
Right.
that was like really good. So
Yeah.
and then
Creatures, A+.
he saw like the first half of Psycho Goreman and was like, when I come back to stay, I want to watch the rest of this. I was like, done.
Amazing.
All right, Kit, we will shout out.
Reverse shout out because Katie reminded me. VHS Halloween. There's some fucking AI garbage in it, so fuck that.
I
Yeah.
was also going to reverse shout out Decibel's AI album about Philadelphia.
Boo.
Wait, what?
Decibel released a fucking album about like the Eagles or some shit made entirely with AI, and then tripled down on people calling them out on it and being like, it's just a dumb fun album.
Ugh.
Yeah, so
Disagree.
fuck Decibel. Katie, what do you want to anti shout out?
Yeah, what AI bullshit do you hate?
I hate AI. I just all hate it. I hate it so much. It makes me so. I like really have not ever been a person in my life who has like, you know, gets enraged by people having conversations about things, but AI and Chat GPT specifically really, really set me off in a way that I find disconcerting to myself. Like, I don't know where it's coming from. But I did have a conversation with Tiffany earlier about Canva, and I think anti fucking shout out Canva because I feel like that's where the pipeline to like AI and all of this shit started with Canva. So anti shout out Canva.
I get so mad when I hear somebody be like, well, I just made a grocery list with ChatGPT. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
For why? Can't
Yeah.
you use your fucking brain?
Just
Like,
go to
I
the
don't know.
grocery
It
store
really,
and push it in a cart. That's what I do.
yeah.
And then I have nothing
Like,
to make a real meal, so I need ChatGPT.
I like get just like so enraged. I can't even think about it, honestly. It makes me so mad. And I think normalize not telling people in regular conversation that you're using it for anything because
real.
I don't want to fucking hear it and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I
Like,
like the somebody made the t-shirts that just say like, don't talk to me about AI, I will kill myself.
I really need that because I hate to say this, but I really think less of people who use
Oh,
ChatGPT.
yeah,
And if you're
100%.
I
Same.
just you stop. Like, please stop. Wake up.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
Next week.
I did get uncomfortably mad, but you know what? It is almost Halloween here, even though Halloween is over for you people listening. And I was playing that game Core Keeper that I shouted out forever ago that I'm like still obsessed with, but they are kind of like Stardew Valley where the devs will release like free updates every now and then, which I will support till my dying day. Free like expansions and stuff, and they just like were doing a Halloween event, so I've been doing that and I appreciate them. So shout out to Core Keeper again.
Cut out whatever positive shout out you just said. I'm gonna replace it with
You
an AI of you saying you love AI.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Next week, Katie and I are gonna talk about WNUF Halloween special.
Hell yeah.
Have you seen that, Kit?
No, I'm planning on watching it this week because I've never seen it. I was like,
Me
it's
neither.
Curious because
gonna get me in the Halloween spirit.
I
Yeah.
blind bought it at Walmart solely because I was like, well, TerraVision keeps getting stuff in here, and I would like to like,
Yeah.
support that. And it was a movie where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this, but whatever, it's TerraVision. But I
Right.
surprisingly was on board with it, so I'll be curious. Like, I'll talk to you about it when you and I record, like after you watch it or whatever.
Hell yeah.
All right. If you'd like to support us, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/IPSufferPodcast. There's There's some bonus episodes on there you can listen to probably. I think
Definitely.
we've recorded a couple.
One or
Yeah.
two.
You can buy some merch at our Redbubble shop. You can I don't know, leave us a rating somewhere. I don't care. Just don't use Spotify, I guess. Cuz
You just give us money.
yeah. Yeah, just write
You don't have to subscribe to anything.
I hope you suffer on an envelope, put it in the mail, put some money in it. It'll get to
We'll
us.
Yeah.
I'm
get
sure
it.
it'll get to us.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. You can follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery, Kitrification of Blood. You can follow Katie at Werewolfface. Join Katie's Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfface. You can listen to my other podcast named K Movie Club. Someone tell the stupid mail to fucking get my freaked Blu-ray through customs already. Tired of it sitting in New York
No,
waiting to go
someone
through customs.
no, someone snatched that. It's gone.
It's just been accepted into the country, but not all the way through customs yet. And I'm like, come on, man, you're like a state
Nope.
away from me. Just hurry the fuck up.
They looked through the radar and they were like, "Fuck yeah, freaked," and then they took it.
Probably.
Sorry.
Jerks. All right. I hope you get some good rocks. But why?
Yeah.
Aw.